How was that?
Good.
Good way to start off our weekend. All right, guys, back to the action in the shop. All right, well, that was fun and entertaining. Now back to business. So I went ahead, got a few parts in on shipments here from FedEx and UPS, made a trip to the Napa store, and just want to add a few things that I got done on the truck here. Went ahead, interior door handles are in. I do want to put the windows and regulators in, or the door window slides. Got those dug out. And what we got here is, I guess I forgot to mention in the last video, I actually have an issue with the Be Cool radiator fan that took a crap on us in Pacific Junction out at the ice cream cruise. So I've tried contacting them several times, left voicemails. They finally gave me an email, but I'm switching it. We're done. If we get it replaced, maybe we could use it on the twin turbos, or maybe if Jason wants to use them to get us by on something. What I bought now was a Duraley, I believe that's how you say it, actual shrouded fan, which is going to fit tight against the radiator, unlike the Be Cool setup. I believe there's like maybe, yeah, right here, some rubber gasket material that goes on this outside edge, and it comes with brackets to either mount on the top, bottom, or sides. And this is, I believe, like 4,000 CFM setup. Takes up quite a bit of space as far as thickness. Well, we'll open it up here shortly. But yeah, no, I mean, this is definitely, I think, going to help us as far as cooling capabilities. Keep this thing cool. It's not that the Be Cool ones really weren't working, it's just the shroud doesn't fit tight against the radiator. It has bumper pads, which I'm not understanding why that would be. I would think you'd want a shroud right up against the radiator. That's besides the point. We're gonna get this set up on there, and I think this is gonna do the trick. Also went ahead, Good Vibration Motorsports. Got a catalog there. I'm going to change our throttle cable over. Instead of having a short one onto the blower and that very long linkage, this is going to actually run all the way up to the Big and Ugly. We'll show you that when it's set up. Ordered some brackets here. These are the brackets that go on the groove section of the cable here with the little loop to keep them in. Did order a spare blower belt because if we ever had an issue, at this point I don't have a spare. And also, what did I get? Blower gaskets and more blower gaskets. So that should be everything. So I'd say, oh, well, I guess we got some stuff from Napa. This was just, I grabbed a bunch of Autolite racing plugs, AR 3932s, and also got some 1060 racing Wix filters. So those, we need to change the oil in it, as I mentioned in the last video. So we'll get the oil changed, we'll get new plugs in there, work on the windows, make sure I've got like the trim work and stuff that goes up and around there so they're not shaking all over. And the biggest thing is, let's get these fans put in. So real quick, just want to show this before I take it off. The Be Cool kit came with these brackets here, and unless there's another way that I'm missing how to mount them, it keeps the actual shroud, which is just a flimsy piece of flat steel, away from the radiator. And again, I may have put this on wrong, but I don't understand with these brackets being bent like this, how you could get it any closer to the radiator anyways. There's like bumper pads down here. I put some in the middle. I did have like a zip strip, one of those that pulls through into the radiator, and this was bowed so bad or bouncing, it just broke that off as well. But this passenger fan here is the one, it's totally locked up. I'll show you that here in just a minute. We'll get this pulled off here and take a look at it. Well, that was a matter of 2 seconds. These bolts here hold the brackets together, so once I loosened those, the shroud dropped and I was able to get the brackets off the lower section here, popped off the radiator, pulled it off. But yeah, as you can see, small issue right there. We're hitting on this shroud, and I'm not even sure how that's even possible. It's almost like the fan kicked out from inside there or something. I'm I don't know, doesn't make a difference. You know, actually it looks like because this shroud is bowed, that maybe possibly these got out on the other side of it, maybe, like that. So the fan is actually not locked. It's ruined now. Oh, bearings out of it. Either way, got one halfway good one, I guess, but it's done. It's old news. It's gone. It's going off into the scrap pile for now. The new shroud should be almost identical to the size of the radiator here. So we'll be able to pull that out and determine if we're going to put the brackets on the top and bottom or on the side. And yeah, looks like top and bottom it is. I don't think we have a choice any other way. So let's grab that. We'll set it up there and see what we got going. Okay, there we go. Fit and finish is beautiful on this thing. Nice brackets. Again, keeping the radiator and the shroud 100% combined. I did pull these flaps off. I'll get the pins out. I'm not sure if I need them. I don't know much about radiator fans, but the flaps were falling down into the belt on both the top and bottom down there. Hopefully that's not an issue. They're plugged in, ready to go. So let's see what these bad boys sound like. The battery might be worn down in the truck a bit from sitting, just from electronics drawing, but let's see what we got. Here's one fan. I can feel that blowing clear back here on my hand, and here's the second fan with the first fan. Maybe. Okay, so we don't have the second fan working yet, and thinking about it, with that fan there taking a crap or hitting the shroud and locking up 100%, I hope it blew a fuse, obviously. I wasn't even thinking about that. So I'll check the fuse box now. I don't know if I've ever showed anybody, but I did get an entire race wire solutions, I believe it is. Got the whole box and everything back here behind the seat. So I'll pull the fuses out here, double check what we got going on. I'm sure we've got one blowing and we'll get that replaced, and then we can hear the second fan as well. Okay, got into the race wire solutions set up there, and if it will focus, this is our 30 amp micro fuse. Well, doesn't make a difference, but either way, it's blown. You can see it's black there. So that should take care of that. Let's go ahead. We'll turn on driver's fan, which we run separately off the auxiliary switch on our switch panel here. So that is one, which we had on before, and now let's trip on two. And there we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Now we need to figure out what the next things on our list to do are. Obviously windows I'd love to do just in case we ever run into any rain, but I think more importantly is going to be changing the oil, get the spark plugs in, and then I'd like to work on that throttle cable. So just to show you what we got working with up here, we have a short throttle cable coming from the firewall here, which is a groove. This is the bracket I was talking about for focus, same as this one here. Comes up to here, and then we bought this blower mounted plate. I don't know if it was really made for the big and ugly hat as much as it was for like a bird catcher, which is shorter. Plus we're running the spacer, so we had to kind of cobble up some of this stuff to get up to here. So what we want to do with that new throttle cable is actually run it from the firewall. We're going to run it down along the front, underneath, and then it will come up here on this passenger side, and then that L bracket will bolt here with the clamp, and we'll run the throttle off the passenger side. So no more linkage, because we did bend this when we tried shrink wrapping.
Can I take my shirt off?
You want to take your shirt off?
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy. It's hot out there today. So that way we don't have to worry about if we ever want to shrink wrap this. They're a quick disconnect. We can pull it off, shrink wrap up the big and ugly, and protect the motor. So let's go ahead and work on that next.
Can you help me?
Come on, buddy. It is the next day now, and I've actually been thrashing all morning on this, and I'll show you what we've got done. First, we'll start off where we ended before, which was the throttle cable situation. Went ahead and removed everything off of the blower here, the bracket, cable, and all that. And you can see our new cable right down here. As I stated, coming across the front, sweeps up here to the passenger side, and there it is hooked up. So because we're doing a pull style cable, I had to go to the back side of the linkage here, which was fine, kept my spring on the front side. I did have to modify this bracket to go at an angle, and there still is a kind of a bend right here pushing the rod back up, but we have full operation of the Big and Ugly. So the one cable, and with the quick disconnect here, just pull this down. You can pop this off of the 1/4 inch ball there, and then with this quick connect here, you can just push this over, release the cable. We can get all that out of our way if we do run into any rain again and we want to cover up the engine. This side, I just have to leave this linkage on here because of the EFI at this point, so we can run our TPS sensor. Everything up front is pretty well done. What we're going to do next is change the oil. So there's a drain plug on the bottom of our tank down here. What we do is drain that. We'll get something down there to catch it, and then we need to remove the belt off of our dry sump. And then there's a bolt, I think a 1/4 inch bolt ran down the center shaft. We'll just rotate that over with a drill until it pumps all the oil back up into the tank, which in turn, with the plug out, obviously it's going to leak out of there into whatever we catch it in. So we'll do that next. We'll get our plugs in, and also kind of went out of order, but it really had me wondering what it was going to be like to put the windows in. It wasn't bad at all. Found the quarter glass here and found the main glass. It's got that old vintage purple tint on it, but I think it looks pretty good. So I went ahead and got that all put in, and shown before, I believe, got the interior handles for the doors, and everything works as it should. So period correct. Yeah, 1967 works great. So we're good there. I love that. I did look up a set of door locks. Not that it's a huge deal, but it would be nice to get a set of door locks on there and just have this truck complete with everything. So if we do go somewhere to stay overnight, we can lock it up. Don't get me wrong, if somebody's wanting to get in, as we all know, they will get in regardless. So it's just a deterrent, I guess you could say, to do that. Let's go ahead and let's drop the oil, get some fresh oil plugs in this so we can be done with where we're at. All right, so again, by spinning over the dry sump pump, as we did there, you just seen, we pumped out most of the oil. I'll say there's still some in there, but unless you're gonna, I don't know if there's a drain plug on here, but that's fine. We got 90% of it. Now, the worst problem is with us running this clear view 4-inch filter here, I need to remove this top section. These fittings do not screw off of here without the hex hitting each other. So what I'll have to do is take this line off up here, take the 4 nuts off the top, remove that so we can check this and clean the 60 micron screen that's in there. Then we'll change the oil filter on the bottom, which is our 1060 Wix racing filter. Put in our, I believe it was 11 or 12 quarts back in here. We can prime the system back up again, and we should be all set. So that's pretty much the process for changing the oil. Again, definitely hit it with some air into that bleeder, which is what you use to actually purge the air out. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but Clearview is an awesome design. If you have an air compressor with you at the track or anywhere, you just go ahead and put a little blast of air into there. It'll push the oil out, and you can actually see through to see the screen, which I have sitting over here. I'll inspect. There's a little bit of stuff on there. and then you can actually see if maybe your engine, the bearings are going out or anything else is in there to give you a pre-up on what, you know, if you need to stop or not. So now we just need to go ahead and put that back on, torque that, put a new filter on, and then like I said, we'll put in 10 quarts or whatever. We don't want to fill it up too far, but we'll fill it up far enough, we'll prime the system, and then we can start it up, top off the dry sump tank, and then we'll go from there. Just a quick look before I put it back together. It might look bad, but a lot of this on here is actually like gasket maker material, rubber material. I'll blow it out onto a clean paper towel so we can get a real good look at it, just to make sure none of it is bearing material, but I don't see any shiny flakes or anything. I mean, there might be one or two metal flakes, but again, we'll flip it over, we'll blow it onto a paper towel, check it with a magnet just to make sure. But again, looks like all gasket maker and who knows, other crap that's been ran through it. But it's doing its job. We'll clean that, let's get her put back together. Yeah, baby. Okay. Hear those new fans doing what they need to do. Definitely pushing off a lot of the air now. I think we've got everything taken care of, so I think we're all ready. Again, Volga City Truck Cruise. I know this is extremely loud. That's all right. At least we know it's cooling. So Volga City Truck Cruise, again, I'll put the link down below again. That'll be Saturday, August 28th. My eyes are burning from all the fumes. So we're going to end it there, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.